All right. I don't know why that card cuts every week. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Torn Tuesday, your weekly dose of all things Lord of the Rings. My name's Justin, and I'm joined,
And
as always,
hello.
by the man with the voice of a thousand no.
What is that?
This this is Cliff
What?
Broadway.
You're about to say something grandiose and funny, like, the death of a thousand flies or something terrible, burning with the brightness of a thousand suns. Well, whatever you were doing was kind of cute. We're going to teach Justin how to follow through on his improvisational skills. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Torn Tuesday. And of course, that is Justin Sewell. And this person sitting right here in this little box is Clifford Broadway, coming to you live via satellite from London. No, I'm not actually. This is kind of funny. We have some of the most amazing footage that came out of that British fan event this past weekend. The entire internet is abuzz about it. Welcome to Torn Tuesday, folks, because this is where we're going to talk about all the goodies that happened this past
And
weekend.
we're
News.
here to talk with
Oh my
you
gosh,
fans about all
so
the
much.
goodies. There's so much to talk about,
And
Cliff. There's
and
so
you're
much
here
to
with us
talk
live.
about.
These beautiful people are here with us live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, streaming, coming through on Instagram. Y'all are with us right now. It is great to have you.
Well,
Welcome. Welcome to the
I'd
show.
love to see the questions already in the chat. Let's hit a couple of them
I
right now.
know. It's really
How have
happening.
you guys been
This is
liking
really
Tales of
happening.
the Shire? Cliff, I don't think you have it because you can't play. You don't have a PC or a
I don't
console.
have a PC.
Um,
No,
it's charming. I love it. Look,
I
Fortnite is
can't
my
wait to try
main
it.
game. Fortnite's my main game. My second game is Expedition 33, which is, as far as I'm concerned, game of the year. Tales of the Shire is
Back in
just
the
a
old
nice,
days,
nice little cozy. And I think I'm a PC gamer. I think I would play Tales of the Shire more if I had a Switch or a handheld, like a Steam Deck or something like that. I
do you
think
know what? Funny you should say that because I'm getting a new Switch 2 very soon. So I will be playing Tales of the Shire and talking all about it. In just another month, I'm having a Switch 2 arrive here in the house. It's going to be great.
Well, that's fantastic. I
I
think
can't
you're
wait to
gonna
try it.
really enjoy the game.
I'll be late, but
But by the
better late than
way,
never.
on Steam, guys, on Steam, which is
Hmm.
where gamers are very honest about their opinions. Tales of the Shire has an 82% positivity rating. The
That's
people that are
cool.
playing the game, Tales of the Shire, are loving it. And 82% means it's a good game. I mean, that's a solid positive score. I mean, in the era of where thousands of games are released every month, indie games, big games, AAA, Tales of Shire is holding strong at 82%. Don't listen to the reviews on IGN or whatever. They give it a 3 out of 10. I don't know what they were smoking because the game is exactly what it promised to be, a cozy little farming and cooking sim. What more do you want out of it?
Yeah, totally. That is exactly what I wanted out of it. A really beautiful and relaxing farming and cooking sim. I'm totally down for that. But I was also, I love Steam. They have a great tabletop simulator on Steam. It's really cool. But I'm still trying to figure out how I can get before I become the new, household with the Switch 2 on the block, because I'm the last kid on the block to get this new technology, right? I'm wondering how I can use Steam to access a simulator. I
Yeah,
wonder if they have a simulator on Steam for Tales of the Shire.
I don't know if there's one for Mac. 'Cause
Yeah, that's my problem because I'm using a Mac. Yeah, well, thanks. The ghost of Steve Jobs is turning over. I just can't. Anyways, well, it is an exciting game, but the most exciting thing that has come out of it um, is that watching people react online, watching people post their images of their pies, their flowers, the gardens that they're making. I mean, there's some really cool, fun, relaxing stuff going on there in that.
yeah,
And congratulations to the Weta team for putting it together. I can't wait to try it.
yeah,
Now, we
it's a
also,
good game. Dude, so much happened this week, Cliff. I feel
oh
like
my God,
uh,
we can't even get started
we
proper.
can't even
Yeah,
get. But I feel
we
like we
have
should
to
let's
figure
just
out
get a
what
couple.
to prioritize.
let's get a couple of the quick news items out of the way because there's so much to
I
talk
agree.
about from this fantasy con that happened this week.
It's
Real
insane.
quick,
All the footage.
a friend of the show, here's what the internet's talking about today. Film Twitter, especially, is talking about today, Cliff. Greg Fraser, friend of the
Yes.
show. He's been on the show. Friend of the show, Greg Fraser.
Wonderful interview with that man. He was great.
Cinematographer from Australia says he might be shooting the 4 Beatles movies instead of Dune 3 or the Batman 2.
That is a gut punch because everyone is so attached to his work as a cinematographer.
The
And people are really attached to him
Oh.
working with those directors. With Denis Villeneuve, who else would Villeneuve trust to take on photography for Arrakis, if not Greg Fraser? I mean, you guys go look at our catalog on YouTube and check out that amazing interview we had with him.
It's one of my favorite interviews we've ever done.
And a scholar. He was a great guy.
And
real
as far as I'm
quality, real
concerned,
quality.
Greg Fraser is the heir apparent of the legacy of Andrew
Roger
Lesney.
Deakins. Andrew Lesney. Okay. I'm including Andrew Lesney in the Roger Deakins category of
Roger
legacy
Deakins is still alive and
cinematographer.
working. Andrew
He
Lesney,
is.
who won all the Oscars for the Lord of the Rings films, he's no longer with us. But Cliff, here's the interesting part, and here's why I'm actually excited about
4 separate Beatles movies, mind you, not just directing him, not just pulling his attention away for one project.
They're shooting all 4. They're shooting all 4 at the same time, and they're going to release all
that's
4
wild.
in the same month. But Cliff, here's why I'm excited, because the Beatles movies are shooting right now.
Yeah.
Which means that Greg Fraser will be available to work in 2026 when Hunt for Gollum starts shooting.
You mean that if Denis Villeneuve can't have him, maybe Andy Serkis can? I like the way you think, sir.
Listen, because Andy Serkis...
I see you connecting the dots.
Andy Serkis worked with Greg Fraser on The Batman.
Yes, they did.
Andy
They did work
Serkis
together.
is Alfred Pennyworth, and the cinematographer of that movie.
That's right.
Greg Fraser, amazing.
Right.
So there is history between Andy and Greg Fraser, and I'm really excited about that possibility. Anyway, that's one of many things that we need to cover today. Where'd it go? I just had it.
You're looking for that FantasyCon footage because there's so much of it.
before
Ladies and gentlemen,
before we get to FantasyCon, Max and Baldry posted this photo set.
Oh,
he
yes.
is in Italy. Let me see if I can bring this up full screen. Max and Baldry posted this this last week. Heat wave in Italy. He is in Italy, and he posted a bunch of photos. Obviously, he's at kind of a resort with with a tennis court. He looks like he's doing some bike riding. He's doing some ice baths. Yeah, he's doing an ice bath. So I asked our sleuths on the internet if they could pinpoint where in Italy Maxim would be, because Rings of Power Season 3 is currently filming right now, Cliff. And if Isildur is the main character in Season 3, he should be at work. Well, Cliff, we have identified, the fans have identified where Maxim Baldry is posting from. It is in Sicily. That's right.
Whoa.
Man, these pop-ups are insane. According to eagle-eyed fans who were looking at some of the photos of that Maxim Baldry was posting, he is in Sicily at Spiaggia Nera, and I'm probably saying that bad.
That's Spiaggia.
So
Spiaggia Nera. Come
Cliff,
on, where's your Italiano?
So talk
Spiaggia
to me.
Nera.
Talk to me, Cliff. You are the expert on Lord of the Rings locations. What area of Middle Earth would this look like?
This is really lovely, and if they're shooting in Sicily, it's because they want to take advantage of the coast. All right, let's just get that clear. They're not shooting like deep inland interiors in Sicily, and if they are, it'd be surprising. If they're taking advantage of any of these coasts, then who knows where it could be? Perhaps a Numenorian shoreline, but that wouldn't make any sense that he would be there because he's still in Middle Earth. So let's narrow it down and say maybe they're getting some footage that would be exterior area should for Pelargir, excuse me, with a P. I also think that maybe if they go further down the coast to Dal Amroth, they could get some coastlines that would be that other region of southern Gondor.
Well, Cliff, I wanted to highlight
distant
this
from
photo
Minas
right
Tirith.
here because
further down.
Cliff, look at this photo
Yeah.
right here. This part of Sicily
see.
where Maxim Baldry currently is has black sand volcanic beaches of black sand. What could that imply in Middle Earth?
I do not know. That I don't believe Tolkien had said anything specific about black sand beaches. A point of interest, I have been on the North Island of New Zealand where they do have a black sand beach. We went out there hiking with Royd Tolkien one afternoon with his brother while he was still with us. And it is a very interesting geological feature to have that kind of volcanism in the area that makes the beach have those really dark black granules.
But we have
it's
not
really
seen that in any of the
beautiful.
Peter Jackson movies,
But
even though you were walking in New
none.
Zealand. That wasn't in
There
any of the
wasn't-
movies.
There isn't any passage in the Lord of the Rings that I can recall that I immediately come up with in my mind.
Well,
where
Cliff,
Tolkien
the
describes
chat
that
room
kind
is
of place.
saying the western shores of Numenor. What would that mean?
Well, his character isn't there. Unless something happens. All right, now, where we left him in season 2, he was still on the mainland. So maybe in season 3, if he is going back to Numenor, then absolutely this could be the
Remember,
eastern
there's
shores.
there's a whole time jump in this, so I don't expect that Isildur has been like moping around Middle Earth for 10 years. Like, I'm sure he's trading back and forth and making many passages back and
That's
forth.
right. Troy Hillman is correct. The last we saw him, he had boarded the ship back. Right. Okay, then let's revise our guess. If they're going to spend any time with the faithful, they're going to be on the other side of the Numenorian island on the northwestern coast.
So does it make
Maybe
sense
this
that Isildur would be on the other side of Numenor?
Yeah, well, that'd be really interesting if things went so badly as we saw them go badly at the end of season 2 in Numenor for all of the faithful being persecuted. It was a literal pogrom. They showed us like this ethnic cleansing behavior against the faithful. So if they're hiding and going to have refuge on the far end of the island, then this might be the place where they're filming.
Is it true to canon that Isildur would be spending time on the other side of Numenor?
Yes, there's been a lot of estrangement happening between the character Isildur and his father, and that didn't happen in the books. That's just an invention of the TV show. They weren't missing and presumed dead, where, Elendil is running around with all this heavy grief on his heart, thinking that his son is long since dead. So that never happened. So there's very much reason for them to be on that portion of the island together, both father and son.
Well, Maxim isn't just leaking where they're filming possibly season 3 of Rings of Power. Maxim posted this photo yesterday, Cliff. Why would Isildur be calling Sauron my liege? And I have a theory, but I want you to go first.
Because it's funny. There's no theory. Don't read too much into this, Justin. This is just funny.
Oh,
He's
I'm going
trolling.
to.
He's totally trolling us. It's funny.
No, that's
because well, hold on. Sauron is known by many names, and one of the most famous names that he's known by is the Dark Lord. So if he's a lord, then him calling him my liege is totally tongue-in-cheek and very funny. I think it's very funny. What do you think?
I think
This is hilarious. He
think
is teasing the Dark Lord.
no, I
He's
think
just teasing you.
I think Isildur is going to side with Sauron early
No,
in the
he's
show.
not. Why
Yes,
would he? What are you
because
talking
at the
about?
crack of doom, he ultimately sides with Sauron. I think he
No, he
sides with
doesn't. He
Sauron way earlier in the show, and I think
no. Why would he? He never sides with him. He chops his fingers off. He fights him completely faithfully. Completely faithfully fights against Sauron.
are you
He doesn't.
sure? Does
Yeah, of
Tolkien
course.
describe
It's
his
the power
mood?
of the ring, the power of the ring warping his brain and warping his spirit is a testament to the power of the Dark Lord, not a testament to the weakness of Isildur as much. Now, the bias, the natural bias that Elrond has when he's speaking in the film and he says men are weak because he's still really grumpy, kind of pissed off, if you will, the fact that Isildur was standing there at the Samath Naur, at the crack of doom, and failed to throw the ring into the chasm of lava to unmake it. They just, so this whole concept of that is as an elvish bias, that is a totally elvish bias of elves
So
against
you
men
don't think
is totally
Sauron would
biased.
exploit the separation of father and son and make wouldn't that make good TV where through for the next 3 seasons we don't know if Isildur will turn bad or turn good. He's a gray character.
No, no, no. It's going to be far more interesting to see the programming of characters like Kemen actually going darker the way we know that they're being programmed. And that's how they've been
You don't
shown and
want
set up.
Isildur to be a gray character or a
No,
dark character.
no. No, Isildur has a mystery box still around him, around his mother, him hearing his mother's voice. What does he hear his mother's voice in the distance, in the waves? All right, so he's got his own stuff to deal with, not an extra storyline of him maybe being tempted by Sauron. I don't
I
get
I
that. Why?
I I'm okay if the show makes Isildur the bad boy of the family.
No, it's his sister who is going to be the bad girl of the family.
What?
Duh. She's the one who's going to become a follower of Sauron. She's the one who's probably going to help build and design the evil Temple of Morgoth at the top of Meneltarma, at the very center peak, the center tallest peak at the center of Numenor. So it's not going to if you're really thinking about a character struggling whether to be loyal to the family or be super loyal to Sauron, it's going to be her. And not did I pronounce her name wrong again? Enarian? It's not going to be Isildur. It's going to be his sister Enarian. Okay,
All right, if you say so. All right. Well,
that's what I'm. Well, look at
Maxim's
the way
playing
they've
with
set
all
it
our
up.
emotions. So,
He's trolling you. He's
we've
trolling
got
you.
we've got three big stories to talk about. Fellowship of Fans had some interesting scoops that I want to get into later in the show. But first, I think we need to talk about the big event that happened this week because some massive, massive, explosive things happened in London this week.
Oh man,
First
yeah,
off, an
insane.
incredible convention.
Just insane.
For the love of fantasy, somehow got together this huge amount of actors from the Lord of the Rings and the Rings of Power, and you fans were getting photo ops and signatures from these huge stars. And I think this might be the first time that all four hobbits plus Gandalf, Ian McKellen, were available for a photo op. It's crazy.
It looks like everyone was there except Orlando. It really
Yeah.
looks like he's the only one who's
Where are
not
you
there.
at, Orlando?
Where's Orly? And
And Morfydd
look,
Clark had her own panel.
there was Bruce Hopkins and Craig Parker too, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And Morfydd Clark had her panel. Okay, all right.
Cliff,
Charlie
look
Cox
at
had his own
this.
panel.
Look at this a packed room for Morfydd Clark. She packed
I'm
the
excited.
room. I mean, this deserves a full screen. Guys,
That's fabulous.
don't let the internet tell you that this show is not popular. I believe in Prime Video's stats. When Prime Video says they're very happy with the numbers of people watching the show and engaging with the show, this is what they mean. She had
Yeah.
lines all weekend long. She had
Wow, that's
just as
beautiful.
many tweets as the four hobbits and Gandalf. I mean, the panel was packed for Morfydd Morpheus panel. We'll get into that in a sec, but Cliff, fans have been posting their photos
Oh my
on our
gosh.
Facebook group. And if you're not in our Discord or our Facebook group, you're missing out on
That is
some
so
wonderful
cute.
fan conversation. The fans really brought it. I mean, what an opportunity to get a photo with the four hobbits and Gandalf at the same time. I'm
That's
so happy.
insane.
I'm
That
so
is the
happy
most
for all these
insane.
people.
What I love is Dom's face. The way that Dom is making these faces
This,
is so brilliant. So
um,
brilliant.
I just love
I
it.
love this.
But Cliff, Ian McKellen broke the internet this weekend,
He sure did.
but I'm not even gonna set it up. Let's roll tape.
Yeah, it's just roll that beautiful beam footage.
Well, I hear there's going to be another movie set in Middle-earth. And it's going to start filming in May. It's going to be directed by Gollum, and it's all about Gollum. But I'll tell you two secrets about the casting. There's a character in the movie called Frodo. And there's another character called Gandalf. And apart from that, my lips are sealed.
Cliff, let's unpack this because this is
I can't with him. Ian is so brilliant. He's so brilliant.
First off, okay, he said that they're shooting in May. They're shooting in May, so
Yeah.
that gives plenty of time for Andy Serkis to finish filming his part in the Batman Part 2, which is supposed to be
Yeah.
happening in January. And that gives plenty of time for them to hire Greg Fraser as a cinematographer of Middle-earth. Please call Greg Fraser if you guys are watching.
Yes, absolutely. That's
Cliff,
amazing.
what Frodo? Why is Frodo in this movie? Do you even want Frodo? Talk to me.
Well, yeah, it's true. Julia in the chat says that Ian is such a tease, lol. And yes, he is. He is running his mouth just to tease the audience like this. It's really wonderful.
Let's back up. What we do know about the movie is it supposedly takes place in the time between
Yes.
Bilbo's birthday party and
Where
the
Frodo
council
was.
and the council
Frodo
of
attended
Elrond.
that party. Yeah, and Frodo attended the council as well. So you're talking about every single minute of screen time can have a bookend with Frodo at the front and the back end because it happens during the prime time that Frodo is on stage as the main protagonist of the entire thing. So yeah, but this is a background story that's happening while other things are happening. So yeah, why wouldn't Frodo be in there? Why is that surprising to you, Justin?
I guess
Frodo
I
was
wasn't
definitely
expecting
there.
to. I wasn't. I guess we've never talked about it. We've never
Well,
talked about Frodo returning.
What we've always talked about is the way that they made edits to the film. And the Fellowship of the Ring has such a brisk pace that you do not know the time jumps that are happening. And Peter Jackson, as a director, decided not to do any lower thirds that said 17 years later. ... Well, he sure as hell used that technique in The Hobbit first film, An Unexpected Journey. He used a title card, but he didn't do that. So this is the story of where that title card is missing. That's 17 years in between the time that Bilbo says his big birthday speech and he shocks all of the neighbors
Well, okay,
putting his ring on, and he wanders off in the night. And then 17 years later, that's when Frodo has to flee for his life and leave the Shire very quickly. So that Peter didn't give us that time jump, but now Andy Serkis can. That's the advantage that he has as a director. He gets to fill in that gap.
So Cliff.
So yeah.
So Cliff, we do know in the movies, the first time we ever hear about Gollum is when they're in the caves of Moria, and Frodo and the Fellowship are like, we're being followed, and Gandalf's like, oh, that's just Gollum. He's been following us for 3 days, right, or whatever.
Well, the first time you hear about Gollum is in the Shadow of the Past, where Frodo and Gandalf are talking very intently over the dining room table. And Gandalf gives full information about Gollum's existence.
Not
and
in the
Frodo says,
movies.
in the movies, and then Frodo says, that would lead him here. And there's a cut back to
Oh,
Barad-dûr.
okay.
There's a very quick cut back to where Gollum is being tortured in the Dark Tower.
Oh, that's right.
Barad-dûr.
That would lead him here.
It's
Okay.
there. That would lead them here. So get your facts straight.
Based on Ian McKellen announcing that Frodo and Gandalf are going to be in the hunt for Gollum, do you think we're
Yes.
going to see recreations of scenes from the Fellowship of the Ring, but seen from Gollum's perspective?
Yeah, very much. Very much. We're going to see long distance shots of him looking, and there in the distance on the mountain crag are the Fellowship and Bill the Pony wandering their way down a difficult path. And in the foreground will be Andy Serkis observing and trailing them and hissing to himself.
Do you think we're going to see how Gollum sneaks into Moria at the same time that the Fellowship's getting attacked by the beast?
No, what do you mean? No,
the
no,
Fellowship
Gandalf
gets attacked by the beast, and the rock wall closes them into Moria. The Watcher in the water.
Say, but for correcting the record in the proper chronological order of events, poor Gollum, Smeagol, was held captive in Mordor many years before the Fellowship set out on their adventure.
I'm talking about when the Fellowship comes across the Watcher in the water.
Yeah.
And they get stuck in Mordor. Or not Mordor. They get stuck in Moria. How does Gollum get into Moria if the way is shut behind the Fellowship?
Well, in the book, Professor Tolkien has one of the characters speculate that he must have snuck in very quickly before the doors were snapped shut. Or I believe there's a speculation that he had been inside, hovering around inside the mines of Moria, waiting for them to come through that way.
I want to know from the chat, do you guys want to see recreations
of
these scenes from Fellowship from Gollum's perspective? Do you want to see this?
Yeah, but we've
already seen it, and it's perfect. Why do we need to reshoot these same beats from a new perspective?
Because there's a much bigger story, Justin, that they're going to film that happens 15 or 17 years before the specific scenes you're talking about in Fellowship. There's going to be the whole Gandalf making a conversation happen with Thranduil and saying, you need to help me out. You need to take this creature, Gollum, and keep him under lock and key here in Mirkwood while I go and find out what the hell is going on. And Thranduil is going to be like, really, what's in it for me, Gandalf? And there's going to be all these things where younger Legolas might be hanging around with younger Aragorn, doing all these things because Aragorn and Gandalf go wandering a great deal, tracking him down, trying to find Gollum. And they do, and they take him to Mirkwood. And all these other things happen, and he escapes ultimately, and then Gollum gets to sneak out, and then he finds his way into Moria. So I get a feeling we might find that Gollum will be sneaking his way into Moria from the eastern door, which is the point where the Fellowship, the surviving members of the Fellowship, literally escape after the Bridge of Khazad-dûm, and they escape out of the East Gate into the Dimrill Dale. But I would think that the hunt for Gollum is going to show us the way that how Gollum entered in from that eastern gate and was probably just hovering around, sniffing around, trying to find out if there were hobbits on the trail in Moria. And surprise,
Paul is
they walk in
jokingly
there.
asking if the Hunt for Gollum is going to be 3 movies, and currently it's only going to be 1 movie. Ian McKellen said there are 2 movies planned, but he didn't say that they were both Hunt for Gollum. Don't put it past Peter Jackson to butter over little bread. Or wait, no.
No, not enough butter scraped over too much bread. I'm excited because the hunt for Gollum gets to show us a lot of things that happen from Smeagol's point of view, and it will very intersectionally bump into other characters in the timeline that we know of in between the events of The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. And that term that we used to
I
use,
want you to
calling it a
respond
bridge
to Reiner in
film.
the chat room. Reiner says this movie's not going to end well. Some things are better to be left undisturbed.
I don't know. We've been talking for decades about a bridge film, and that's what this is. It's the bridge between the end of The Hobbit and the beginning of Fellowship of the Ring, and that 17-year blackout period that Peter jump cut so fast in Fellowship that the audience didn't even know what happened. But yeah, I mean, following along with other people in the chat, 60 years? Yeah, you're quite right, Durin the Seventh. They're covering decades of time where Gollum is captured and
we
then
know
let
that
loose.
there's plenty
And,
of time and
you know,
content. There's plenty of
this is
story
all
to tell in a movie.
it barely
One movie.
but just your consternation about these overlaps and looking at Fellowship and looking at activities and scenes from Gollum's point of view, that wouldn't happen until the very bare end of the film, like the last couple of
Fair.
minutes.
Okay, fair.
They would because that's the where does the story end? This is an interesting speculation I would like to talk about for a minute. If we know where it's going to start, Gollum leaving his cave, going after Bilbo because he's so incredibly pissed off. He's not going to hover around and stay in the Misty Mountains forever, and so egged on by his obsession with reclaiming his precious, the One Ring. So egged on by his obsession, the movie begins there, with Gollum leaving the familiarity of his cave and stumbling into the world of bright sunlight and moonlight that burns his skin and burns his eyes. And he has to acclimate to the outside world. That's the beginning of the movie, is Gollum getting out of his cave and acclimating to the daylight, the sunlight, the stars, the things that hurt his eyes. And then he's going to go, what? Searching for clues about Bilbo. And that will eventually lead him where? Into the hands of Sauron, where he'll be captured. After he makes friends with a certain giant spider, we get to see all these crazy things that Gollum's doing, before later in the story, he gets captured by Aragorn / Gandalf, or both. So I can even see where the second act and the third act is going to go. I can see it in my mind now that we're putting it on a specific timeline.
And look,
but where it will end, I do not know. It's a mystery to me where the story is going to end. I don't know.
The chat room is correct. If you listen to the commentary tracks, the audio commentary tracks on the movies, the Lord of the Rings movies, and I believe the Hobbit movies as well, Peter Jackson says at a few times that he envisioned a bridge film about Gollum. He's talked about this for 20 years. So this is kind of his dream movie. He's been talking about doing this for 20 years, making the bridge a Gollum movie. And to have Andy Serkis directed after he's done Planet of the Apes, which, guys, Planet of the Apes movie series is some of the best dramatic storytelling
by far
of the last 20 years.
By a long mile. By a long mile. You're right, Justin, in saying that. You're quite right.
So, that was the huge news coming out of the fantasy, and as you can see, everybody covered it. But Cliff, I guess you're right. I guess we've been reporting all about this movie for the last year or two, but it never clicked in my head that, we're gonna get the whole Hobbits together again, because of course we are. Of course we are. And the interesting thing is, on that video with for Ian McKellen at the FantasyCon, none of the other actors on stage flinched an eye or got surprised or was like, there was no body language from the other cast members to imply that they were caught off guard. I think they're all involved. I think they're all involved.
They're all in on it.
And they look great, Cliff. Like everybody looks great. You put put the wigs back on them. You shave their fuzzy faces, and those folks are back in the game. I'm really excited. I'm really excited to see this.
It's very exciting.
And if it's what Peter Jackson wanted to tell, it's the story that he wanted to tell. This, by the way, this FantasyCon was incredible. You had Jared and Misha and Marissa Tomei and Craig Parker. Bruce Hopkins was there. Um, Incredible. And of course, Morfydd Clark was there, our Galadriel. And she rocked
Yeah.
rocked the world with her own announcements at the panel. Should
She
we get
did.
into should we get into some of the stuff that
let-
she says?
Let's get right to it. Absolutely.
Let's talk first about what the fans were picking up on. She called Charlie Vickers, who plays Sauron, a Tom Ford model, and that it's hard for Galadriel to say no to him because of his beauty.
Oh, here come the Haladriel stands.
Come
Here
on,
come
Cliff.
Haladriel stands.
No, it's not Galadriel. It's what's in the show. Come on, you got to admit, if she's playing this role with that mindset, you cannot say that this is just a ship.
Well, if Patrick and JD wanted to create an entire series around the one sentence in the book where she says, he also knows what is in my mind. If they're trying to flesh that out, let's just say that they're doing an interesting job of it, and they're making some very interesting choices. But it was such a slight read for it to be like a romantic take.
Come on. Come
maybe
on. She's in love with this guy.
She's not in love with Sauron, but she thought that she was attracted to the guy Halbrand because, well, it's, the way they've written it, man, it's more about the emotional liability and the spiritual liability that she's in right now because he took advantage of her trust. So, yes. Yes, Susan, thank you. I'm being very diplomatic.
Morfydd goes on. She says, it's pretty difficult. It's pretty tough for her. And it's wonderful to be pushed acting-wise through Charlie's beauty.
Sure.
The fans are picking up that she's using the present tense as she's talking about Rings of Power, almost as if she's filming with Charlie again right now. Let's see if we can unmute.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, pretty difficult. I think it's pretty tough for her. And it's wonderful to be, pushed acting-wise through Charlie's beauty.
Thank you.
Thank you.
London's coming with the great question.
Come on. All right. She's having a good time with this. Come on.
Yeah, we're all having a good time, and you especially, Justin, are reading way too much into this. Thank you, Angel, for saying that.
I am not reading too much into this. This is what McPain wrote. This is the show that they delivered, and this is the reception that the fans are giving it.
Yeah.
Galadriel
I don't
and
think
Sauron.
that what they delivered in season 1, where she says, I felt it too. How much do you want to read into that? How much do you want to read into that?
5 seasons worth of reading into it. That's what I want. By the way, fans put together a little fanzine for her. And look at this. Halbrand's pouch, the entire, I don't know if the entire Unhinged Fellowship attended, but many sock puppet accounts called the Unhinged Fellowship went and met her, got their pictures, and they made a little Galadriel zine and handed it to her. Look how much she loves and appreciates this fandom, Cliff.
She does. She does indeed. It's true.
And she was reading it right there.
That's really cute. And the fans are lovely when they do creative things like that. The fans are very lovely. And I'm not going to knock the Haladriel fans because, hey, everyone's got a beautiful fandom and a great way of recognizing what they want to recognize in these stories. But I recognized something about Sauron's manipulations of her not being romantic, but they were calculated, deliberate, evil, and persuasive because he wanted to mentally and spiritually get her in alignment with him while he posed as that alias character. Halbrand. And I didn't think it was romantic, but I think it was deliberate and calculated in such a manipulative way to be anything but emotional. I really thought that he was trying to spiritually and mentally trap Galadriel with every altruistic bent of spirit that Galadriel would naturally have. And far few characters dial up the altruism aspect as much as Galadriel is one of the most altruistic characters ever written by Tolkien. So if Halbrand, who is actually Sauron, he's there trying to manipulate the heck out of that unique quality, that generous spirit, that unique altruism that is a hallmark of Galadriel's character. I saw all of that stuff in season 1 as not romantic, but I really did see it as deliberate mischief, really evil, calculated manipulation to get her mentally, not emotionally, in his space. And it worked. And to her eternal embarrassment, she's now feeling responsible for all the death of Celebrimbor, the arrival of the orcs, the horror that's happened in Eregion. And she feels responsible for that because she brought Sauron into their midst. And that emotional weight of that liability that she feels that she is now towards everyone that she loves, the liability that she feels that she brought to the table with everyone dead and all those people, all those elves dead in Eregion, if she's going to be a well-written character going forward seasons 3, 4, and 5, it's not going to be because she's resolving a conflict of romance. She's not resolving that conflict. Her character has so much bigger stuff to resolve over her character arc through the next seasons 3, 4, and 5. And it has a lot to do with guilt, remorse, feeling like she's personally liable, and also feeling duped. And my main objection with the season 1 character, the way that she was written, is because I never believed that Galadriel would be fooled. I think it's to the endless debate. All the fandom out there is going to debate this, but to my mind, I would not have written first season Galadriel as the character who gets so easily duped by Sauron. I wouldn't have done it. However, the fact that JD and Patrick have actually done this, it does give them fertile ground for a larger developing story arc that will eventually take them through 5 whole seasons. Redemption, spiritual redemption, mentally forgiving herself, and having other people in close relations around her in the Elven Kingdom, having them also forgive her for what happened. And then the further manipulations of Sauron through the rest of the story, I really don't think it's romantic at all. It's geopolitical, it's mental, and it might have worked. The final verdict on it is that I didn't like it in season 1, but I do understand now that we're on the cusp of season 3. I really do understand why they did what they did. The manipulation thing with Halbrand taking advantage of her, it's not the romance that you always wanted, but it certainly does bring Galadriel far closer to difficulty and personal remorse and her journey towards atonement. If that's the big word of the day, then there's atonement, because Sauron had a chance for it and refused. And he refused to atone for what he did. Now, maybe through seasons 3, 4, and 5, we get to see Galadriel emotionally and spiritually seek her own atonement for what she's done. So, I'm kind of 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, in my opinion of this. I can see it, and the protracted view, the long view, going all the way to the end of season 5. I can understand it now. I do. But I don't think I really glommed onto it and liked it very much in season 1. I have to admit. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. This Cliff, the season 2, this body language, this production design, and this body language is not altruistic and mental only.
Come on, Justin.
Come on, man.
Come on.
I don't know how you can ignore the romantic overtones of the entire show where they end season 2 with this body language. It's not just a mind game. That's a main part of it. But they wrote this show to be for them to be physical.
Okay. I
Anyway,
don't know.
that's not all.
Okay.
Morfydd.
Yeah. Okay. But still, all right.
Here,
All
here's
right.
here's what Morfydd had to say at the con. We're not going to play you the 35-minute video. But Morfydd at the Fantasy Con says it's really fun to play a character where I know where she's going, and I know eventually she's going to get to this place.
Well, yeah, that's the place we see her in the Fellowship of the Ring.
Right, the Lady of Light. And I think, yeah, there were moments at the end of season 2 where I was feeling, oh, there's this pull towards this kind of soft a bit, in a way sadder life that I think she goes into. In a way, a sadder life that I think she goes into.
Do you know why? Because she's using the power of the ring to stall the decay of the Elven Kingdom.
Okay,
of
that works.
Lothlorien.
And I'm really excited for that journey. I'm sorry I can't really say anything else, or a bolt of lightning will come and strike me down. So that's a fun that's a good. We know where she's headed, and I do.
Yeah.
I think it's good to keep reminding people that she's using the power of the ring all through the Third Age to keep the elves, the power of the elves, going, because they're decaying.
Well, it's the pursuit of timelessness. It's using the power of the rings to pursue deathlessness. This is one of the major themes of Professor John Ronald Reuel Tolkien, is to ignore destiny. He said the major sin of the elves, if you could describe it as such, was that instead of accepting their spiritual destiny, they were using the rings to prolong the inevitable, to delay what would be the natural progress of time and destiny.
Fair. Cliff, I want to get your reaction to this other comment from Morfydd Clark.
Okay, here we go.
She says, I mean, it's just very different being in a series and something that is secretive that I'm still learning to deal with. I am impatient and I'm frustrated as a person. So I am nagging people all the time to be like, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I think what keeps me kind of from not going too wild about it is that we know the places that we're going to go to, but I just don't know how we're going to get there. And it is that kind of a different way of acting as well. And you don't know exactly where you're heading to. So I think I've kind of learned a new way of doing it. It's very different to when you're doing a film or a play where your arc is right here. It's sometimes a little frustrating.
I can completely understand that. Completely understand that.
Cliff, we've been reporting on the secret stuff that they do on set, where actors get iPads the night before their scenes. The iPads only have tomorrow's scenes that you have to memorize. If the iPads are programmed with Amazon security, so you only have a certain amount of minutes to remember.
That's right.
To learn your lines. And if you need more time, you have to send an email to request more minutes to look at your script on a daily basis. Right. This is how the actors are operating. We've been reporting this.
It's crazy.
They don't let the dwarf acting crew talk to the elvish acting crew. They don't want the units mingling. They want everybody so secret and not telling anybody what each other's doing. I don't even know if Morfydd knows that Maxim is in Sicily right now. So this is interesting, okay. Cliff. Morfydd is in public saying that she's frustrated, but I want to highlight the phrase, I just don't know how we're going to get there. We just talked about, we all know where she is going.
They actually cast Charlie Vickers and didn't even tell him that he was going to play the Dark Lord Sauron.
They cast Galadriel and didn't even tell her that she was Galadriel until she moved to New Zealand.
Yeah. They're not telling.
But they're still doing it. She's saying this in the present tense as if it's happening right now, 5 years later. 5 years later.
and they're
It's
not
still
sharing the
happening.
long form. And I'm surprised that they told the stranger that he was ultimately going to be Gandalf by the end of season 2. I'm surprised they actually told him that.
So I don't think
I
we're
mean,
getting the best
it's crazy.
performance that we could get out of Morfydd as Galadriel under these circumstances. And she's telling us right now she cannot do her best work under these circumstances.
I agree. Hello, Wonder of Tolkien. It is great to have you here on the live chat with us.
Do you
Otaku
think
Senpai, Last Win, all of you guys thank you for being with us on this amazing conversation. We are looking and interacting with you guys in the chat. We can see you there. What I think is happening here is a not so subtle ploy for her to say, I appreciate the granular questions you keep asking me about what my character is going to do and say as my character evolves, but I want to share that your frustration is as equal as mine. So it's her way of answering the fans at the event. At the same time, she's kind of sticking it to them at Amazon and saying, why don't you bloody let me know what my character is going to do so that I can work with that as an interpreter of this character, and I could get this character the way you want it to be. I know I can appreciate the double edge of this statement. I really do. I really, really do.
But the interesting thing, Cliff, is we're now in season 3. We're 6 years since she got cast as Galadriel. Why haven't they told her where her character is going, even to the end of the season? Why are they not allowing her as an actor to explore this character? I trust her acting more than I trust the showrunners. Right? I want to see what she brings to the character Galadriel, because we trust her as an audience. We now trust her as Galadriel in inhabiting this character. We trust Charlie as Sauron. We trust these actors as the characters. You've done the job introducing and setting this all up. But how do you not still trust your actor as a showrunner to say, this is where the character's going? Now use all of the tools in your acting toolbox to hit those notes.
Indeed. I really appreciate your point, good sir. 100%.
Does this
you've
mean
got my agreement?
Is season 3 just not improving?
Don't know. It means that they're using the same methodology. And now how far you can construe that you're going to get the same result or different results, that's another opinion. But they are using the same methodology of production. And by that, I mean their manner of
You're not winning
information.
Emmys. You're not setting streaming records. You don't have the viewership. How, does Prime understand that something needs to change here? And you have your
Their
actor
methodology is
going public saying, this needs to change if you want the show to get better.
Yeah. Mystery boxing to the expense of your storytellers, because that's who your actors and actresses really are. Their job is to be the face of your written word. They're there to interpret and deliver as physical storytellers, using their voice and their eyes and their muscles and bones and the very lifeblood that's in them. They're using that power as a performer to interpret your storytelling and bring it to the world. So if you're not giving your lead actors all of the help that they can and giving them all the information, then how can you expect them to bring that level, that heightened level of storytelling and interpretation that the show deserves? So I agree. But I mean, I don't think Morfydd would say it quite as emphatically as I'm saying it now. So I'm happy to speak on her behalf. The mystery boxing at the audience's expense is one thing, but you can't do it at the expense of your actors. You can't.
What are you doing?
You really can't.
Like, literally, what are you
not
doing?
helping
You
them.
don't trust
You're
your actors?
You're hindering their process. You hinder, not help, the process by not letting the actors know full on every step of the way what is advancing, what is evolving, and where you're going to go with this storytelling. The actors must know. But then again, when you tell them, they end up standing up on stage like Sir Ian McKellen and going and blah, 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 and breaking their non-disclosure agreement and just blabbing it to everybody. So there's the negative side of that sometimes.
I
I'm
want to
teasing
believe
Ian.
that
Ian, I'm teasing you. I'm
that
teasing.
Warner Brothers is secretly telling Ian it's okay to say things because
You wonder, maybe.
Look, because it seems like Warner's is approaching Hunt for Gollum in a more open and transparent way than we are in season 3 of Rings of Power, where you don't even trust your actors to know where their character is going. They're gonna show up. Oh my God, Cliff,
I love it. I love the point. The point, no. The point that you make, Paul, in the live chat, Paul says that Alan Rickman, when given his secret goal as Professor Snape by the writers and producers, he kept his secret all the way for 8 films to a great result. And that's because he was told ahead of time and knew where he had to go with his performance and interpret the character. So enough of that. But thank you for that excellent example. That's a great example. You need to tell your characters what's up.
So they
sorry.
So you're telling me that we're here in season 3. Amazon is still not telling the actors what they're doing. So you're telling me Galadriel showed up on set one day. Morfydd showed up on set one day, and they said, and the showrunners say, by the way, you're kissing Robert today.
You're kissing your mother-in-law today? What?
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 And she's in no position to walk off set. Like
they told her you're kissing your future son-in-law today.
But
no, man, I don't know, man.
An actor can work with that, but you need to give the actor a heads up so they can find the headspace, find the right place to be. You know what it's like being an actor. Like you have to find.
I do.
You have to find that place to hit those notes that need to hit, and and Bear's music does a lot of work in that kiss scene, but like this mystery box thing for your own actors has got to stop, and it's got to stop in a show. It's antithetical to Tolkien.
Antithetical.
Antithetical to Tolkien.
Yes, agreed. Yes.
And you know what?
What?
Don't even believe me. Let's ask Tolkien's daughter, Priscilla.
Nightmares about Black Riders. It was so powerful. The other thing I remember too is that when I came to read the book and reread it a long time afterwards, I still felt just as frightened, even though I knew what was going to happen, that they would eventually get away, as it were, from the Black Riders. And that, I think, remained in my mind as a very important fact about literature, that the important thing is the threat and is the feeling that you have, the fear, and not actually knowing what happens. That's perhaps one reason why I always have found whodunits rather unsatisfactory form of reading, because if it's just the thrill of finding out what happened, you don't really want to read it again. But if it's the emotion, then that's forever if it's great literature.
Well said, Priscilla. Very well said.
I mean,
yeah,
they get
very well said.
If the showrunners want to keep saying they want to make a Tolkienian story and they want to make it feel like Tolkien, she just said, no more mysteries. That's Tolkien.
Right.
Anyway, let's move on.
I'm suddenly reminded of my footage. You know that footage of me sitting down to interview the cast from season 1? And the first question I presented to Morfydd Clark was, "Where's your husband?" And she goes, well, I can't really quite say right now. I think I really put her on the spot. I didn't mean to, because now we're at season 3 and it's still the major question, where's your husband? And I wonder if they told her all those years ago that this was a secret.
The fact that Morfydd is saying that they don't tell her where her character is going, I truly believe that they have not told Morfydd if Celeborn's coming back or when he's coming back, and they're counting on her being surprised on the day when Celeborn might come back, which is a poor use of a talented actor's skill.
Indeed.
Speaking of Celeborn, that was one of the scoops this week on Fellowship Fans. Fellowship Fans had three
Oh.
scoops. One, that Jamie Campbell Bower, who we talk about every week. We love the guy. I'm a big fan, and I'm so excited that he's joined the show, and he's exactly what the show's needed. And they say that he is a highborn elf, and he is a canon character from the books. So that narrows it down to basically two options: Celeborn or Glorfindel. According to Fellowship Fans, he is not Orifer.
Not Orifer. You know, it is lovely to see Fellowship Fans get the speculative scoop, but that's not how you spell Glorfindel. Just a side note for you nerds out there who want to make sure that you're spelling things right. And it's also interesting that
Here's the thing that Twitter has picked up on. They say, I don't know how some people are still wondering who Jamie Campbell will be playing, even though he is playing an elf and his code name is Arlen, which literally means tree, and we know Celeborn means silver tree.
that's right. Sounds good to me.
So, they don't specifically say that he's Celeborn, but Fellowship of Fans says in their latest video on Sunday, listed a bunch of characters who he is not playing. He's not Thranduil. That was one of the rumors. He could be the Rings of Power version of Thranduil, which is interesting. I'd buy it. But Fellowship Fans saying he's not. So the only two options left of a canon character are Celeborn and Glorfindel. Also, because of the time jump, some of the elven characters will start to have longer hair going into season 3.
Well, that's intriguing.
They forgot the 3 in season. Cliff, this is
intriguing.
This is an easy fix. I think that's a weird leak to have. I think that's a poor excuse for a time jump. To like, it's a magic land. We don't know how fast or slow elves' hair grows. Like, you know, announcing that there's a time jump just to validate that Elrond has long hair. It's kind of a waste. Unnecessary. It's just unnecessary. It's a magic land. Their hair can grow fast. We don't know.
That's kind of funny. You know what? We're getting small details about hair growth, but we're not getting like major conversations about the lead characters and the fact that this guy really is playing Celeborn, and we all know it, and they just won't admit it. You know, it's so funny.
It's another mystery box that it's just pissing people off. Let's be honest. You're not earning fans of the show by playing these stupid games that nobody's having fun with. By the way, Cliff, I want to look at her hair. It is not bottle blonde. That is not the color of Galadriel's hair. I want to ask you, does Galadriel's hair change color? Or do you think she wears a wig? What do you think's going on with the color of her hair? Because she's supposed to be shooting season 3 Rings of Power right now.
Wigs. The great transformation of wigs.
Do you trust
I'll show you
a wig?
I'll show. Look, we'll look at this beautiful shiny bald head, and then watch what happens when I put on a wig.
Oh Jesus!
Suddenly
I brought this upon myself,
works, dude. Yes, you did.
A cosplay,
you totally
yes. Did. A $1 billion TV show. Dye your hair, bro.
They digitally removed Superman's mustache.
That was terrible, and they got ridiculed for it.
If she needs to be properly at a hair length and a hair color, they will not always force the actress to cut or change their own hair. I mean, a wig is just as quickly done as anything else. So, however, I don't see why she wouldn't just use her natural hair and go from there. I don't see why not, but Still, they will use wigs when they want to. You know that.
Well, this would be the first season where Galadriel would be in a wig the whole season.
Oh dear. No, she never looked like she was wearing any wig at all.
She
it was
did.
definitely her own hair.
Yeah, she bleached her hair the
What's her
last
own
2
hair?
seasons. So what does that tell you?
Does that mean that she's done with principal photography and she wanted her hair to go back to a darker chestnut kind of color?
There's no way.
Maybe.
She's the main character. Well, let me ask you this. Would you be happy if they sidelined her character and she's not the main character this season?
No, not necessarily. No. But what if she is done with principal photography? And what if she just wanted to have a change for maybe she's on a break for a couple of weeks and she can dye it back when she goes back. I don't know. But there's a lot of other things to speculate on besides how she's wearing her hair, honestly.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Well,
All right. Thank
also,
you.
Fellowship of Fans had a third scoop this week. They visited the park that Rings of Power is filming in. And here's the sign at Windsor Great Park near Windsor, where Windsor Castle is, right? It's right near where the sound stages are. And filming related activity will be taking place in this area from July 29th to August 28th. Today is the 19th. So they are going to be there for another 9 days, folks. If you want to get a rare opportunity to see a Lord of the Rings film set in person, you can find it at Windsor Great Park for the next 9 days. The area will remain accessible to the public, but please do follow instructions given by film crew where necessary. Accessible to the public until August 28th. Rings of Power Season 3. Send us some photos. I want to see what's going on.
They're being quite open about it. They're really filming right in front of your face. Do not take your dogs off leash. We are filming, please. That's an interesting sign. Really interesting.
So check it out. Fellowship of Fans got all these scoops. Also, they have one more scoop, Cliff. Let me see if I can find it. Skeletor. You won't believe what we talked about in Discord this weekend. Maybe I'll end the show with that.
Skeletor, Masters of the Universe. I love that stuff.
That
stuff is great fun.
The other, I can't find the thing, but the other scoop that Fellowship of Fans has, Cliff, is the elves send word and ask for help from Numenor in their war with Sauron.
Okay, yes.
They
asked for help from Numenor. Yeah.
That's the scoop. Is that true to the books?
Yes, I believe so. Yes, the Numenorians were requested to assist.
Okay.
But what's interesting is now you're talking about what happened in all the battles and the war at the end of season 2 was not really the war of the elves and Sauron. Really? So if they're going to show the war of the elves and Sauron, which lasts for a very, 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 very long time, over many years, and maybe we were misled or we misunderstood somehow, because what we saw at season 2 was just the sack of Eregion and not really the entirety of the whole war of the elves and Sauron. That makes me wonder.
So they're saying, Fellowship of Fans is saying that the elves will send a plea of help to the Numenorians for help against Sauron, who's advancing in Eriador.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed.
So that checks out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, you know what? Interesting. The black sand beaches where Isildur was actually filming himself or taking photographs of the beautiful Sicilian coast. Maybe they're not filming there at all, and he was just near the area. Okay, we
Maybe
can
he
always
was
say
just on
that.
holiday.
Maybe he was just, yeah, had a week off, maybe.
And here's a video from Fellowship of Fans of the sets in the Windsor Great Park.
Oh, look
You
at
can
that.
see the elven tents that we reported on. The Gil-galad's elven tents are now under tarps during the day. They're shooting
Wow.
mostly at night. This red thing is a big crane full of lights and light bounces. So you can see that they
Wow.
really light it up at night. And you can see a lot of barrels and carts and things like that. So this is definitely like
Wow.
a deep into the war. The rumors, so the rumors up to now are season 3 of Rings of Power chronicles the end of the war of elves and Sauron, and possibly ends the season with his capture and return to Numenor. And then season 4 will be the Sauron doing his thing in Numenor. But
Oh boy.
you
Wouldn't that
can
be crazy?
again, these are publicly accessible. If you want to take your own photos and videos, our DMs are always open. Our Discord is always online.
Fascinating.
Please feel free to share, to go take photos for the next 8 days, and share with fellow fans. Cliff, if you won't,
How about that?
you're gonna laugh. You're gonna laugh at what we've been talking about in Discord this week. So,
Go ahead, tell me.
you know, we've talked a lot about Celeborn joining the show, and I think you and I have different opinions on
Yes.
the value
we
of
do.
Celeborn joining the story. We
Yes.
also have different opinions on whether the show should play with the parentage of Celebrian.
No. Why would the show ever play with that? And I've heard you mention it at least once or twice. No, file that under very bad idea.
Well,
Why do we want to
we
have
solved it.
the show struggle with the parentage of Celebrian? Why?
I think we came to a amicable solution, Cliff.
Okay.
Sauron's pregnant.
Oh gosh. Sauron's pregnant?
As much as you hated Galadriel being pregnant with the half Maiar Celebrian, we
Oh my
make
God.
Sauron pregnant.
You're crazy. You're so crazy.
And
Y'all,
please
this is
tell me
crazy.
if McPain you wouldn't put this past McPain. Tell me you wouldn't.
That's just too
You can't see him
ridiculous.
do it.
No, that's crazy.
All right.
That's crazy pants.
So
I mean, there are times in Norse mythology that Loki, the great trickster god, would change form, and he became the mother of the 8-legged horse, Mjolnir, that was Odin's horse. So he shifted complete sex
and we
completely
know that and Sauron's already
to give
done
birth
that.
to other beings.
Remember,
so if Loki would do it,
Sauron in goo form attacks a woman in a horse cart and becomes Halbrand. So Sauron's already said trans rights. Sauron's already turned
Oh,
a woman
gosh.
into a man. We saw it
Oh,
at the beginning
gosh.
of season 2, right? It's there on
Oh,
camera.
gosh.
So McPain have already gone there. They've
You're
already
so
gone
crazy
there.
pants. They're not going to make Sauron pregnant. It's not going to happen. There's no mystery pregnancy. However, we do wonder what excuse they're going to use for having kept Celeborn off stage and out of her life for so long. I wonder what that excuse is going to be. I wonder what that story is going to be. I do wonder.
And I don't think any of it's good, and none of it is going to make everyone happy.
Thank you, Shield Wall strategy. Sleipnir, not Mjolnir. Thank you. Got it. Thanks for correcting me.
Whatever the show does with Celeborn, it's going to be unsatisfactory for
Why do you say that?
half the fans. Like, it just it's just wrong. Like he should have never been off stage.
I don't think we're ever going to agree, but let's see what they do in season 3. And what a great show we've had tonight, ladies and gentlemen. That's about all the news that's fit to print here in today's edition of Torn Tuesday. Anonymous girl says, I want to unsee Sauron's baby bump, scarred for life. James wants to know if you're on your meds. Otaku Senpai says, years from now, Justin will be cringing at his old fan theories.
I don't think so.
You guys are too funny. You guys are too funny.
Look, I asked Discord if McPain have ever mentioned Celeborn, and they did mention Celeborn at the Comic-Con panel last year. They went into Hall H, and Cliff, again, your very first interview ever with the actors on the show, your first opening question was, "Where is Celeborn?" And then in the season 2 marketing, the showrunners go up and say and confirm that Celeborn will be back, but don't give any idea whether it's season 3, 4, or 5. But then you have articles like Screen Rant saying Celeborn is required to fix the show. And they don't, and by the way, none of the 10 that they list are JCB. So I think he did a one. I did think they did wonderful casting, but yeah,
They did,
I don't know.
let's see.
Galadriel is a great dynamic, and I wish they would just play with it, because Tolkien said that Sauron and Galadriel were the great foes of Middle Earth. That's Tolkien saying it. And there's a lot to be
that
created in that.
No, that didn't mean that they had a romantic relationship. Why would Galadriel ever have a romance with the most evil creature ever? I mean, no, thanks. You need to shut her down. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm trying my best to put that genie back in the bottle, but Justin is always trying to rub the lamp again to get the genie back out again and talk about
you know
it
what?
again.
I'll give you guys
my
a
gosh.
final palate cleanser. Okay.
Palate cleanse.
Morfydd Clark. Here's other news with Morfydd Clark, guys. She is starring in Hamlet alongside Riz Ahmed and Joe Alwyn.
Oh,
And it
that's
will
right.
be
That's
debuting
right.
at the Toronto International Film Festival, September 4th. I personally have campaigned since 2019 to cast Riz Ahmed in this show.
Me
he
too.
is-
You have had an absolute secondary voice backing you every step of the way.
You know
Yes.
what I'm talking about. Riz Ahmed is a top tier actor, thespian,
He
and
belongs in Middle Earth.
belongs
Totally.
in Middle Earth. He belongs
Totally.
in Middle Earth.
Yeah, absolutely, 1000%. Riz Ahmed in Middle Earth would be
And
like epicness on the ultimate Vigo level. That would be
Yes.
that good. It would be great.
yes.
It would be that good. Telling you, you guys don't sleep
you know
on
what? He
Riz
should have
Ahmed.
been at Isildur, but we're gonna let that fly right now because
I
Maxim.
went on for years about that.
He
but
should
yes.
have been at Isildur, but folks, Morfydd Clark is gonna be in Hamlet with Riz Ahmed. Hopefully, Morfydd is gonna be putting in a good word with McPain to hire
Nice.
her co-star
Very nice. Good.
for future seasons. Because you know what?
Awesome
We
sauce.
still haven't met 9 kings of men that turn into Nazgul, and we still haven't met all 7 dwarves that hold dwarven rings. There's a lot of
Yes.
key characters that we need to meet, and Riz
That's
Ahmed
true.
needs to be one of them.
Yep.
And I'm so
Absolutely.
excited for this movie, by the way. Hamlet with those 3 actors, incredible.
I can't wait for that. It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be
Yeah.
awesome.
It will be.
Well,
That'll be really cool.
this is
I'm
a
totally down
big,
for that.
big week, big day, big show. Tons of stuff with Morfydd Clark. It was all Morfydd Clark and it was all Ian McKellen spilling the beans.
Yep, that beautiful bean footage. And Ian loves to tease the crowd. I love that so much.
He
watching
does,
him do
and
that.
you know what? He's at a point now where nothing.
Go,
What are
Katie.
you gonna do? Fire
Katie's
him?
gonna die on the hill of my Maxim Baldry. You go, Katie. We love you. It's great. I love
Um,
that.
you
No,
know,
it's totally great. He's great.
Cliff. Before we go, I want to give everybody a
Yes.
heads up.
It's very funny.
So get your posts ready this week because it's a big birthday week. It's a big birthday week. Let me tell you. Let me tell you what's coming up. I didn't make
who
a
is it?
graphic for it. Maybe I should have.
Yes, okay.
Tomorrow's birthday is Sylvester McCoy,
Sylvester McCoy's birthday. That sounds wonderful.
one of the 5 wizards.
That actually sounds terrific.
Tomorrow is also the birthday of Mr. Alan Lee.
Both Alan Lee and Sylvester McCoy share the same birthday? That's super cool.
Alan
I didn't
Lee's
know that.
birthday is tomorrow. Thursday is John Howe's birthday.
Oh, that's brilliant. They're
And
back
Friday
to back.
is Richard Armitage birthday.
Whoa. All right. Early happy birthday to all those wonderful folks.
So happy birthday to Alan Lee, Sylvester McCoy tomorrow, John Howe on
would
Thursday,
you hold on a second? Be right back.
Richard Armitage on Friday. So get your posts ready because it's a big birthday week. So guys, now that we've given you all the scoops since Cliff walked out, chat room, I want to know, you've heard the leaks for Rings of Power Season 3, and you've heard the leaks for The Hunt for Gollum. Which are you more excited for right now as we speak on this show? I want to know. I want to see your answer in the chat room. What are you more excited for based on what we talked about today? Are you more excited for Hunt for Gollum now that you know what's happening? Or are you more excited for Rings of Power Season 3? Because that's all I got. Oh, Cliff,
Very
one more
intriguing.
thing. One more thing.
Yes. Yes. What is this one more thing?
I got the Andor Rebellion.
Oh, that is
Rebellion.
so cool.
It's
That's
a full
what I've
newspaper.
been seeing so much about.
Save
You got
our
that from
silk.
was that from the For Your Consideration pop-up for Andor?
So I want to remind everybody that Rings of Power is nominated for an Emmy, but I didn't see any effort in LA this weekend to win the Emmy. But Andor really stepped up. This is a newspaper. It's a newspaper. It's
That's
incredible.
printed in world. If you were living on Gorman, right?
In world, check this out. And it has a poster folded in.
Wow.
So it has a poster folded in. And folks, they have
How cool is that?
incredible schematic drawings of Rebel Alliance droid maintenance mandatory psychological check-in. What is your name? K2SO. What is your role in the Rebel Alliance? I am a reprogrammed enforcer droid serving under Cassian Andor and the Rebel Alliance. Are you loyal to the Rebel cause? I am loyal to Cassian Andor.
Nice. That is superb stuff. They printed this whole crazy newspaper.
They printed this newspaper, including the lyrics to We Are the Gore in both English and Gorman. They really
That's beautiful.
posted
That's
it
so
in
beautiful.
Gorman with the translation. Beautiful watercolor artwork.
Wow. That's nuts. I love it.
The Gorman trench coat, they've got a whole art or a whole fashion section. The Empire at Work, exclusive photos no one's ever seen before of of Cyril and everybody. They say it's 20
That is
pages.
super cool.
Here's some of the objects that I saw in person. Look at this full page ads.
Wow, look at that.
And the first page of this, Cliff, is the pitch page, is the pitch document for season 2 of Andor.
Oh, no way, how cool. I've got to see that. I've got to see that up close and read it.
Let me
That's
see.
amazing.
And luckily for us, the Disney
Gosh, that's cool.
awards website put the PDF up on their
Oh,
website.
they did. Oh, awesome. That's great.
And you can zoom in here.
Wow, how cool is that?
And here it is, the Andor season 2 pitch. December 2022, a quick summary of the last 12 episodes. Think of it as a 2-part novel. We're doing 12 more episodes to wrap the second half of the story. Andor is an adventure story about the rise of a galactic revolution, told through the journey of a nobody who ascends to an epic destiny. When we return for season 2, a year will have passed since the riot on Ferrix and Cassian's take me or kill me ultimatum to Luthen. He's now at the tip of Luthen's spear and will realize how ambitious the network has grown and how much Cassian has changed already. No one this season is exempt from sacrifice. Bix will face her deepest dilemma as she senses the strange pull of Cassian's destiny. In Block 3, they'll encounter a Force healer who'll dial in instantly to his aura. Cassian can't escape fast enough, but the encounter resonates for Bix. She can't help role-playing the miracles of Cassian's journey and wonder, what if the galaxy's need for Cassian is more important than hers?
Wow, this is so cool.
And it ends with their sacrifices, like so many of our characters, will be epic. Tony Gilroy. Folks,
the Gorman Massacre is Mon Mothma's critical, canonical red line. It's the event that prompts her to stand in the Senate chamber. She will denounce the Emperor and be forced to flee. Wow, how super cool is that? I'm so
folks,
down.
This is such a rare treat to see a master television show at the highest level. By the way, Cliff, this Andor,
so amazing.
Andor's budget was less than half of Rings of Power.
Yep. How about
Andor's
that?
budget.
Isn't that something?
And this is rare. I mean, you work in Hollywood, you can speak to this. It is rare to get an actual pitch document from a successful show like this.
It's rare to have it ever see the light of day in any way whatsoever.
And
it's rare and very cool.
I got it, and it's in my hands right here. And I read this on Saturday night, and I almost cried because this is exactly it. This is what we want. Immersive storytelling. Immersive storytelling. Like,
yeah.
And he takes this seriously. Every word that Tony Gilroy wrote here is said with seriousness.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why it works the way that it does.
There's no mysteries here. He tells you people are going to die. He tells you the stakes. He tells you the relationships are going to be strained. There's no secrets. It's all here. And this is the best example I can give of the difference. And Morfydd talked about this. We talked about it in the show. Morfydd talked about this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
The difference in secrecy versus the difference in the openness that Andor has with fans right now.
I love that. Show us the Save Our Silk image.
Andor.
Wow, this imagery of these fascist robots stamping on the poor little arachnids. That's just so cool. It's incredible that they bothered to make that. It's really cool.
There it is.
Man.
So,
love that stuff.
Incredible
cool.
marketing Andor's going to win all the Emmys. This was incredible marketing. And they even made t-shirts
Wow, look at that.
that are dated for
Ooh.
Saturday.
That's really nice.
That are dated for Saturday.
Yeah.
Welcome to the rebellion. The
How cool
logo
is
on the
that?
side and the tag says FYC Andor, for your consideration, Andor.
Wild. That's amazing.
These were made only for this event, dated for that date. Welcome to the rebellion. This
That's
is how they
amazing.
take it seriously. This is what we want out of Lord of the Rings. We
Yep.
want this amount of seriousness applied to Lord of the Rings.
Look
Take
at you
it
go,
seriously.
Justin.
Oh, I love this.
I-
This is my favorite swag I've ever gotten.
Yep.
It's incredible.
And it's not even complicated. It's just really nice stuff. It's just in earnest. And you're right. Having that quality of what you're doing for a campaign to be as earnest as the show that you actually made, that quality is a smart move to show that in your FYC campaign. Keep it earnest. I totally dig it. I really do.
Fine. If you're wondering how to win a bunch of Emmys for your $1 billion TV show, just follow the blueprint that Andor has laid down. Tell a serious story very well. Great writing. It starts with great writing, and it starts with trusting your actors and telling them where they're going on their journeys. And so
In earnest.
In earnest.
Yes. Yes. So they know what to do as performers, as interpreters of story. Yes. Yes. Anyways, hey, don't let the stage actor in me take over. But what a lovely, and that's really lovely stuff. I'm jealous. The FOMO is incredibly real that you got to go to that this weekend. And thank you, Justin, for sharing that with us on today's program. Lovely to see
We're
that
with
stuff.
you, Morfydd. We hear you. We feel you. We know you can't say much, but we're with you.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for bringing all the good news and all the interesting news. Boy, oh boy, we had a really good show. And now we're at the 1 hour and a half mark. Thank you for 90 minutes of Torn Tuesday. It is lovely to have this experience. All of you folks in the live chat make it so dynamic and lovely. It's really great to be here with you and to bounce this energy and these jokes and all these ideas with you guys. Thank you for being with us again. Justin, appreciate you pulling the magical strings and all the magical things that you do behind the screen, the green screen, as you will, pulling Emerald City magical levers. I want to say thank you again to the audience. It's just, we can't be here without you. We are nothing. Let's just put it like that.
Last one in the chat room says, Amazon Prime seems to take the secrecy seriously rather than the actual story.
Interesting point. I will let that point sit there at the end. That'll be an interesting punctuation point for the end of the episode today. Follow us on all social media, ladies and gentlemen. We are theonering.net. Just point your browser there. If you want to see us on other socials, you take out the dot and it's just the One Ring Net. And there we are. Follow me, QuickBeam 2000. I'm Clifford Broadway, found on Blue Sky and Instagram. That would be QuickBeam 2000. During the 7th, vodka and Welch's sugar-free. That sounds like a great cocktail. It's time for happy hour because we all need it right about now. It's time for happy hour. And you guys, be good to one another. Look after yourselves, please. And we're going to sign off, reminding you all to join us next Tuesday, once again, at 5 p.m., same bat time and same bat channel, 5 p.m. Pacific time, for another delightful episode of Torn Tuesday. And so we say thank you and good night, or usually good night and good luck, or even better yet, how about like this? Buenos noches y buena suerte. Bye-bye, everybody.